The proposed legal ban on smoking, which is going through votes at the moment in the House of Parliament, is admirable, as Lord Clark points out, and people will vote for it. But it's one of those things which I suspect is going to be impossible to enforce. Clark says that you'll get to the stage where if you are 42 years of age, you'll be able to buy cigarettes, but somebody aged 41 will not be allowed to. Well, how are you going to identify somebody who is 41 years old in the supermarket? Are you going to have to go to the supermarket now with your passport, or are we going to get to a point where we are going to have to carry personal ID in order to buy things in the supermarket? Sure, this is a nonsense. You can probably just about enforce the idea that there is an age of consent or to buy alcohol and cigarettes if you were under 18, under 21 or whatever, under 18, I think. But over that age, this is nonsensical. If you're old enough to be drafted into an army, if you're old enough to fight for your country, you're old enough to make a decision about whether or not you're going to buy cigarettes. And I don't see how this is a law that can possibly be enforced. At the same time, I think ideologically, a law which is against smoking at particular ages and is going to incrementally get higher and higher as time goes by, has been put forward by a conservative government. Well, it's not very conservative to be denying people free choice to do themselves harm. Disposable vapes will also be banned. And of course, we've got people like Suella Braverman who say they're not a fan of the proposals. Liz Truss says it's profoundly unconservative, the example of a nanny state. Boris Johnson describes it as absolute nuts. Well, if Liz Truss and Suella Braverman and Boris all say it's wrong, then my instinct is to say, bring it on, let's have it. But I think in this particular case, they're absolutely right. And it's not wrong because it's a nanny state, or because it's a defiance of freedom. It's wrong because it's something that cannot be policed. It's wrong because it's something that cannot actually be enacted. So it's a little bit like the fox hunting law. It's impossible to enforce, in which case it's a bad law. And we shouldn't be in the business of drafting and promulgating laws which are impossible to enforce.